Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. So last week, we had our latest all-Planeswalker poll, Planeswalker-tribal poll, and in the end, we had a super clear winner with Sarkhan absolutely crushing the competition, taking in almost 50% of the votes all by himself. So this week, we're heading to Modern to play a deck I'm calling Sarkhan's Dragons. Basically, Sarkhan Tribal, but Sarkhan cares about dragons, so some sweet dragon combos and synergies thrown in as well. A quick reminder before we break down the deck. If you enjoy Against the Odds and the other series here on the channel, it would be spectacular of you if you could take a second, click that subscribe button down in the corner of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk Sarkhan's Dragons, starting with our Sarkhan. So we have 4 Sarkhans, which is actually every Sarkhan ever printed in our deck, but our 2 best Sarkhans are Sarkhan Vol and Sarkhan Unbroken. So Sarkhan Vol, actually really bad for the most part. It pluses our creatures, which can be beneficial. Getting a big hasty threat, can steal a creature until undeterred, which, it's okay. Kind of like Ingress ability in Standard. Not the most exciting ability in our deck, but the big payoff is it only takes 2 pluses to make 5 4/4 dragons, which is a lot of power and toughness in the air to close out the game. Sarkhan Unbroken, on the other hand, is just insane. So we can plus to draw cards and fix our mana so we can cast more stuff. We can negative to make a 4/4 dragon. We can -8 to essentially Dragonstorm. We just get all of our dragons and put them on the battlefield, which is a really powerful ability in our deck. We have some backup Sarkhans as well, though. So Sarkhan the Mad is a little strange, but it's basically our card advantage Sarkhan. We can zero it, zero it, zero it. It's taking damage to itself. It's kind of like a Dark Confidant-esque ability, except we're losing loyalty on our Sarkhan the Mad instead of life. We can turn a creature, a small creature, into a 5/5 dragon, which is fine. And then if we get a bunch of dragons on the battlefield, maybe from Sarkhan Unbroken, or if we ultimate Sarkhan Vol, Sarkhan the Mad lets us ultimate and just straight up kill our opponent. The nice part is we can do that right away. -4 comes in and is immediately playable. So if we happen to like Sarkhan Vol, ultimate, cast Sarkhan the Mad, we just kill our opponent without having to attack or risk getting wrathed. And then Sarkhan Dragon Speaker, as strange as it sounds, is probably the worst Sarkhan in our deck, because it doesn't do what the rest of our Sarkhans do. We want our Sarkhans to be making tokens, to generating dragon value. Sarkhan Dragon Speaker is basically like a Storm Breath Dragon, which is fine. Sometimes we just cast Sarkhan Dragon Speaker really quickly, get in a bunch of flying damage. Also can be like a removal spell, and then the ultimate can generate some card advantage. So how do you actually build around Sarkhan is a question. What is tying these Sarkhans together? And here, the answer is doubling season. So when I build Planeswalker tribal decks, one of my rules is to try to avoid leaning too heavily on doubling season. For me to want to play doubling season in one of our Planeswalker tribal decks, it needs to be on color, and it also needs to synergize with more than just the ultimates. Like playing any Planeswalker with a doubling season out and ultimating it immediately is kind of just a cheat card, and that's always going to be good. So it has to be more than just the ultimates that want our doubling season in the deck. So in our deck, doubling season does way more than just let us ultimate our Planeswalkers immediately. Although with Sarkhan Vol, the main combo is we just ultimate, we make a total of 10 4/4 flyers, should be enough to close out the game. Sarkhan Unbroken, on the other hand, is a literal Dragonstorm if we had doubling season out. We just cast our Sarkhan Unbroken, it doubles loyalty up to 8, immediately enough for us to ultimate. We get all the dragons out of our deck, win the game in a crazy storm of dragons, but also works well with -2 to make a 4/4. Instead, we get 2 4/4s, which is actually really powerful. So doubling season gives us this explosive ability and allows our deck to do some really crazy things. So the main combo with Sarkhan's ultimate is we can ultimate Sarkhan immediately with doubling season, and we can get 4 Thunderbreak regions along with Dragonlord Kolaghan, which is enough to be lethal. We have 16 power of flying Thunderbreak regions. Opponent can't really target our dragons, or they're taking 12. Dragonlord Kolaghan gives everything haste. We swing in, kill our opponent. But that's not the only dragons we have. That's our combo kill with Sarkhan Unbroken. The rest of our dragons work really well with doubling season. So Broodmate Dragon, Predator Dragon, we can tutor them up with Sarkhan Unbroken's ultimate as well and just go super crazy. But Broodmate makes a 4/4 dragon token when it enters play, with doubling season, which happens to be right on curve with Broodmate, played on 5, then Broodmate on 6. We get a total of 2 of those tokens, so we're getting 12 flying power and toughness across 3 bodies for 6 mana, which is actually a really strong Magic card. And then Predator Dragon is a little strange, but it's a way we can steal games out of nowhere all by itself. So it has Devour 2, so when it comes into play, every creature we sacrifice puts 2+1/+1 counters on Predator Dragon, while Doubling Season doubles those counters, so every creature we sacrifice is putting 4 counters on it. Predator Dragon is already a 4/4, so if we can sack 4 random creatures, maybe the Broodmates with extra tokens, we get a 20 power Hasty Flying Predator Dragon to just one-shot our opponent with Doubling Season by surprise. When it comes to eating things, we have Birds of Paradise and Arbor Elf, which do double duty. So in the early game, these cards just accelerate us into our Sarkhans, into our Doubling Season, into our Dragons. In the late game, once we don't really need the extra mana anymore, we can just devour them with our Predator Dragon and get that combo kill we were talking about. We also have Utopia Sprawl, not as good at being devoured, but lets us do some really crazy ramping. If we can Arbor Elf and Utopia Sprawl, gives us 4 extra mana on turn 2, 5 mana to start casting Sarkhans on turn 3, and then Broodmate Dragons on turn 4. So it just really speeds up the process. In theory, if we get our Nut Draw, we can cast our 6 mana Broodmate Dragon on turn 3, which doesn't just directly win the game, but it is super powerful, even in a format like Modern. As far as the rest of the deck, a couple of Lightning Bolts just to give us some removal, can also go face if we need to. Mana base wise, bunch of fetch lands, a bunch of shock lands of all different colors. We are a 4-color deck. Do splash for all of our Sarkhans. Some basic lands, and then 1 Haven of the Spirit Dragon, just in case we got to get back a Dragon, one of our Thunder Breaks, one of our Broodmate Dragons, and a Ghost Quarter to hedge against Tron. Sideboard-wise, Kitchen Finks for aggro, Fulminator Mage for Tron, a bunch of removal options, Anger for go wide decks, Thoughtseize for combo and control, Negate also for combo and control, Relic and Surgical Extraction for graveyards, and that is Sarkhan's Dragons for Modern, and that's our Against the Odds deck for this week. So, how is this going to work? I don't know. I feel like we can do some really powerful things. If we can start casting Sarkhans on turn 2 or turn 3, I feel like that might be fast enough in a reasonable number of matchups to actually win the game. Plus, we have our 2-card combo, where sometimes we're just going to play Doubling Season on turn 3, play a Sarkhan Unbroken on turn 4, get an ungodly amount of Dragon power and toughness with the ultimate Dragonstorm ability, and win the game that way. Or we're going to Doubling Season Sarkhan Vol, make 20 power of Dragons or 40 power of Dragons with the ultimate. So we have some weird I win the game combos, plus we can just ramp into powerful Planeswalkers, big Dragons really quickly. So while we'll probably struggle against fast combo-y decks, we don't have a lot of interaction for decks like Storm, we have a lot of raw power if we can cast our stuff fast enough. So I think we should be able to pick up some wins, and hopefully the wins that we do pick up will be super spectacular, because the Dragons, the Sarkhans, the Doubling Seasons give us a potential to just do some really absurd things. Anyway, that is Sarkhan's Dragons for Modern. That's our Against the Odds deck for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, take a second and click that like button down below. It's a great way to help support the channel for free. And you can find the next video in the playlist right here.